moving forward. They join us tonight here on The Ed Show. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island and also Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Gentlemen, great to have you with us tonight. Senator Whitehouse, you first. There are absolutes in climate change. There's no question about it. So what is the mission between you and Senator Manchin here as you see it? What can be gained here?
Well, one of the absolutes is right behind me, and that's what's happening to the oceans as a result of climate change. You never see the deniers talking about the oceans. They're always talking about some complicated computer model of the atmosphere. In the oceans, you know, you measure the fact that they're getting warmer with a thermometer. You measure the fact that they're getting higher with virtually the equivalent of a yardstick. You measure that they're getting more acidic with litmus paper. So Senator Manchin has kindly come here to Rhode Island to take a look. We've been out on the ocean. We've been along the coastline. We've been seeing where houses have been washed into the seas. And he's now in a position to go back and say to colleagues from fossil fuel states, you know what, I've been up to visit Sheldon. He's not making this stuff up. This is really happening in his state. This is real people with real problems, municipalities that need to redo their waterworks. There's a lot going on. We've got to work on this. And Joe is not a denier. He understands that there's some real issues that we need to support the coal industry as it transitions, but that makes him a very important person as we move this conversation into a more practical legislative level.
No doubt. Senator Manchin, what you have seen in the northeastern portion of the United States, will that work in West Virginia? Can it work?
Well, Ed, here's the thing. Basically, what we say, I am not a denier, and I don't think people in West Virginia or other energy-producing states are deniers. We know that there's a climate problem, and you know what? 7 billion people on planet Earth are responsible. We need to do something, but also, in the United States of America, we want to be energy secured. We don't want to have to depend on foreign oil and fight wars in different parts of the world. It has not been very good for us, let's put it that way. So many lives have been lost, and so much treasure has been spent. It should be right here. With that being said, we need an all-in energy policy. As Sheldon said, I'm not a denier, nor is he a denier. He understands, and we hope the other environmental community understands, that we're going to be using fossil for some time, some time in the future. Can't we work together and find better technology to use it much cleaner? The United States government, Department of Energy, has been setting on $8 billion that we could be investing in the clean coal technology and then be able to clean up the global climate, if you will, by having the technology that other countries should be using in a much cleaner fashion. That's what we're trying to find, that compromise and that balance.
Senator, do you believe that there's clean coal? Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt.
I don't believe that there's clean coal, but I do believe that there are things that we can do with the carbon dioxide that gets emitted. We were this morning at a Rhode Island company that grows algae, eats the carbon dioxide as it's emitted from plants, and turns it into valuable products. If that can be brought to scale, technologies like that can make a difference, and we want to work together on those.
Well, let me tell you this, and even the President said in his last State of the Union that we have cleaned up, in America, we have cleaned up the environment more than 80% in the last 20 years, more so than ever in the history. So with that being said, we've done SOx and NOx and mercury. We can do these things. We need to be able to now take off the CO2, clear stream CO2, and as Sheldon showed me, an algae growth that you can use this CO2 to create more added value products rather than trying to sequester it into the ground. We're trying to find that the next technology, and you can use coal cleaner. You can use it in a cleaner fashion, and that's what we're trying to do. Because we're going to be using it.
There's no doubt.
We need it. The rest of the world's going to use it.
No, I understand that coal. Having worked in the Dakotas and Minnesota, the coal-fired plants up here turn the lights on in 16 states all throughout the Midwest. But the fact is, it is dirty technology, and they have spent a lot of money in scrubber technology. I get all of that. But as we move forward, especially your state, Senator Manchin, you cannot look at coal and not look at jobs. Any reduction in coal could mean a reduction in the workforce. How does that balance out with your constituents in West Virginia?
Well, jobs is the driving force for all of us. You know, I keep believing it. There's a balance between the economy and the environment. Can't we work together? You have people that basically say it's one or the other, and I don't believe that whatsoever. With that being said, We've been blessed with Utica and Marcellus shale. We have the shale gas, which has been a tremendous boom for our state. And basically, the coal is still going to be needed to provide 30% of the energy up to 2040. What we're asking for is the government and the EPA to work with us to make sure that we can provide that versus basically trying to eliminate something that's going to be needed. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
And we'll accept the new technology. We want new technology.
And Ed, Rhode Island has no interest in hurting a West Virginia coal miner. Our interest in seeing lower carbon levels so our own coasts don't get beaten away by raised seas and our fishermen can continue to catch the kind of fish that their fathers caught before them.
Can we afford, Senator Whitehouse, to continue to use coal all the way to 2040? I mean, do we have to move faster than that?
I think we've got to move with real urgency with every technology we have at our disposal. And where Joe's agreement with me is the strongest is that there is technology that can help reduce the carbon pollution that coal provides. And that is a common goal that we ought to be getting behind. And there's money we should spend doing that. And there are technologies we should accelerate to do that. Some of them are right here in my state. Some of them have been tried in Joe's state. But this is something that we need to go very hard on.
But Ed, you can't jeopardize the reliability of the grid system. People that are depending on electricity to keep their lights on, keep their heat on, the most vulnerable are going to be the elderly and the poor. And what we're trying to do is keep the system that's basically going to be up and running, affordable, dependable, and reliable, and working in a balance between the economy and the environment, and I'm telling you, we can do it.
So when's the trip to West Virginia for the both of you gentlemen?
We've got that about, what, 3 weeks from now,
I think about 3 weeks. We got a good tour for him. Hey, Ed, we have more wind farms east of the Mississippi than most any other state.
I took this mountaineer out on a fishing boat.
Come with us.
And we went out on a fishing boat, and we went trawling. We pulled the fish up with a trawl, and he was just like a real sailor out there. For a mountaineer from West Virginia, he did great on the ocean.
And we want you to come. We'll take you to the coal mine. We'll take you to a coal plant, a wind farm, a hydro. We'll do it all.
I appreciate it. Senators, thanks for working together on this. It's a much-needed discussion in our country. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Gentlemen, thanks so much. Coming up.